And did you see what Mrs. Troy did when she found out?
I know, I've never seen her get that angry before. I thought she was never gonna let us leave.
I know. Oh, thank goodness she did though. The final episode of Lost Treasures on tonight. Oh, and we can't miss it like we did last time where we turned it on and we had no idea what
Hey,
was...
Layla, wait up.
What?
Wow.
What is it? Come on, let's go home and watch Lost Treasure.
These pages look familiar.
How can a couple of scraps of paper on the ground look familiar?
Remember those old Bibles we used to read in church?
The really big ones which we'd comb through to try and find the pictures for?
Yeah, those. These pictures look like the pictures from the Bibles.
Okay, so let's put it in the recycle bin like a couple of good kids and let's go home and watch Lost Treasure.
Aren't you curious about what this is?
I'm more curious to see how Regan and the captain got from the abandoned island all the way back.
You know catch-up TV is a thing, right? Let's just give it a quick look.
Fine.
Jesus was teaching a large crowd of people about all sorts of things. Everyone wanted to get close to Jesus to hear what he had to say. Then people brought little children to Jesus for him to place his hands on them and pray for them. But Jesus' disciples turned them away. Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." When he had placed his hands on them and prayed for them, Jesus continued teaching.
Whoa, I thought Jesus only cared about adults and older people, but it says that he wants to pray for kids like us.
But if Jesus is the Son of God, what would he want to do with a couple of kids like us?
I don't know, I'm just reading what it says. And it says that the kingdom of heaven belongs to kids too, like us.
Can we please just go home to watch Lost Treasure now?
But there are still more stories. Aren't you curious why everyone wanted to hang out with this Jesus guy?
Well, yeah, but I'm also curious about Regan.
And the captain, I know. But I just feel like we should keep reading. I feel like we were meant to see these stories. Come on, Layla, please.
Fine, I guess I'm a little curious about this Jesus guy.
I knew it. Come on, let's keep reading.
One stormy night, Jesus' friends were in their boat and struggling to keep it afloat. Jesus had stayed on the shore to pray. Shortly before dawn, Jesus went to them, walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said, and cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage, it is I, don't be afraid." "Lord, if it's you," Peter replied, "tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," he said. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came towards Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and he began to sink. And he cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "You of little faith," he said, "why did you doubt?" And when they climbed into the boat, the wind died down. Then those who were in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God."
You mean to tell me this Jesus guy could walk on water?
And this Peter guy did it as well.
But that's impossible.
Not if he was the Son of God, like the story said. And I remember them saying in church that God sent Jesus down to earth so that we could be best friends with God.
But how can we be best friends with God if Jesus isn't around anymore?
I think it had something to do with, what was the word? Faith.
What's that?
One day, Jesus was teaching and healing people inside a house that was completely full. Some men came carrying a paralyzed man on a mat and tried to take him into the house to see Jesus. When they couldn't get through the crowd, they went up on the roof and lowered him on his mat through the tiles into the middle of the crowd, right in front of Jesus. When Jesus saw their faith, he said, "Friend, your sins are forgiven." He also said to the paralyzed man, "Get up and take your mat and go home." Immediately he stood up in front of them, took what he had been lying down on, and went home praising God.
Okay, that was so cool. Jesus just healed a guy who couldn't walk.
I know, and their friends who carried him made a hole through the roof.
They must have really wanted him to see Jesus.
And that faith word was in there. Jesus saw their faith and he healed the man.
Hang on, didn't the healing come second? What was it that Jesus said first?
He said, "Friend, your sins are forgiven." What does that mean?
I don't know, but it must have something to do with other people's faith. Otherwise, Jesus wouldn't have said it.
You're right.